To another episode of The Daily Fight. My name is Robyn Tanner, and I am here to help you fight for your future self. And today, I really wanted to talk to you about themes that I have for each day of the week, but something else is on my mind, so I'm just going to go with it because these are not scripted. I don't plan these out. While I have a list a mile long of topics that I'd like to discuss and stories that I have for you, if something's on my heart or on my mind, I just want to go with that story. So that's what we're going to do today. And I tell you that because you don't really need to know, but I tell you because I'm learning how to do this as you're learning how to do whatever it is that you are fighting for. And part of the deal with this podcast, with integrity with myself, was to, one, be true to that and to share the highs and lows of it with you as I'm going through this journey for me and what this podcast means to me and how I'm documenting my rise to my future self, to, writing my books and to being a motivational speaker and to just getting to that next level in that next season of my life. So I want to share that with you and just keep it real. Like, this is the 10th time that I have started and stopped the podcast today and have had to refilm it and redo the audio. And I've tried 3 or 4 different stories. And this is the story that is sticking with me. So on this Monday, I want to share with you a story about my 13-year-old son. And I love my son. He's my little man. And he recently got braces. He's 13 years old. But before he could get all of the braces, he had to get a spacer in the top of his mouth. And they put this contraption in him, which is totally uncomfortable. It pulls apart his jaw. And I guess it makes room for his teeth so that they can actually do the next step of putting the braces on. So we get this thing in, and then we have to turn this tiny, it's like the size of a needle, like a pen. And we have to fit it in this little tiny hole in the roof of his mouth. And we have to twist it so many times in so many days. And so, of course, right, straight out the gate, the first month, we do it once a day. You got to do it 30 times in 30 days before we go in for the next visit. And so, of course, just like when you start a new job, you're game on, you're going to show up and be your best. When you start dating somebody and you fall in love, you're showing your best side and you're putting in all the effort and you're putting up things you wouldn't normally put up with, right? We always when we start a new gym workout and a new gym routine, we're all in 1,000% in the beginning. And then something happens. Something happens where we forget, or we get sick, or we take a vacation and we just get sidetracked. And then we forget. And then we forget again. And then we forget again. And then we think we are too far gone. And what happened with my son was he got a little too far gone. And it ended up being where we needed to turn it 12 times before we went back to the doctor. And we were going back to the doctor in 5 days. So do the math. It doesn't add up. Now, we're also cranking this thing. So it is legit opening up his jaw and his teeth to make more space and more room. That's got to be painful. Now, I don't know what it feels like. It was a long time ago when I had braces. I'm not sure I ever had a spacer. So, sometimes when people are explaining to us the pain that they're in or the things that they are going through, we're trying to empathize with them. We're trying to relate to a time in our life when we did something, that caused us a consequence to experience pain, or something was put on us and we were in a situation where we had to step up and we didn't want to be and we were forced into it. Or we completely dropped the ball and we're left with, oh shit, what do we do? We've got 5 days to get X amount of work done. Never done that before, right? We've never procrastinated on a project at work or in a paper in college, or, we've let the laundry go and now we're down to our last pair of underwear. And so we have to hurry up and get everything done. So my son decides to go ahead and turn it 12 times in less than 5 days. You can imagine what happened next. While he is trying to cram in the growth and the space in a very limited pocket of time, it's causing him tremendous pain, but the pain doesn't catch up with him until about 2 days later. 2 days later, he is in excruciating pain. He's got a toothache. It's, over-the-counter Tylenol's not taking it away. Cold compresses, heat, nothing is taking it away. And I'm trying to figure out, because I don't know about him turning it 12 times in less than 5 days. I don't know what he's done. And he's not telling me what he's done because he hasn't realized, it hasn't registered that he caused his own pain, that he is the reason for his own suffering. Stay with me. I'm getting there. So we go to the doctor and we go back to the orthodontist. We go to the doctor and they can't figure it out. There's nothing wrong. There's no food stuck there. There's no infection. There's no, there's nothing wrong. Because you can't see. You can't see that he turned it so many times in so many days to cram it in before he went back to the doctor. Now, here's the thing. When it finally registered with him and he let us know, we figured out that by him trying to cram in what he didn't do because he dropped the ball instead of just owning up or asking for help in the first place or telling the dentist, the orthodontist that, hey, I forgot to do it, and we just extend, right? We just delay him and push his appointment back a couple weeks. He ended up in a lot of pain. He ended up making it worse. And I think we do that a lot in life. I think that we do a lot in life, a lot of trying to cram it in. So today I just wanted to share with you, and I get like I feel a little off today, but that's okay. Not every day's a good day, but we're showing up, and we're showing up ugly, and that's one of the things that I'm true to. Where in your life are you trying to cram it in? Because it will take as long as it takes, right? If you give yourself 6 months, it'll take 6 months. If you give yourself 6 weeks, it'll take 6 weeks. But often we try to cram it in and we don't tell, or we don't ask for help, or we drop the ball and we don't own up to it. And then we cause ourselves a lot of pain that maybe others aren't seeing, a lot of stress that is self-induced, a lot of pressure that is put on us because we didn't ask for help or receive help or own up to the mistakes or stay consistent with the habit or the necessary thing that we needed to do to get to the next level. Now, in order for him to actually get all of the braces on, right, he had to do the spacer. He had to turn it every single day. He had to do it so many times. And that you would not be able to hide from the orthodontist. He would eventually see that, we are doing it, that my son is sticking to the schedule and he's turning it one time a day because his jaw will open up, his teeth will move, and it will have the space for him to get the next stage in. So you can't cram your way into the next level. You can't force it. You can't hide it. You can't make up for the last time. Even when I was a trainer for so many years, I'd have people try to, triple up and double up on workouts because they missed 1 or 2 days instead of just merging back in traffic, meaning pick up where you left off. Just get in with the flow of traffic again and then pick up your pace when you're ready. And so today I just wanted to share that story with you. It's been on my mind. We have since learned the lesson because the pain was excruciating and he suffered for about 2 or 3 days before it calmed down. And we are still turning it once a week now. But where are we cramming things in? Where are we not asking for help? Where are we silently suffering in your life, physically, professionally, personally? There's some area in your life where you're either putting it off, you're hiding it, and maybe you don't even realize that you're doing it, or you drop the ball and it's been, 2 or 3 weeks since you've been back to the gym, or it's been 2 or 3 weeks and you haven't called that client and you really need to touch base with them, or you need to go to, your management or your team or your staff or whoever it might be and ask for help, or maybe it's help in the household and you're overwhelmed with chores and you need help with somebody else picking it up. We all have different seasons in our life. And my son only has to have this spacer for, 3 to 6 months. But because he dropped the ball, he's extended it another 3 months. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world to have extensions. But let's not try to cram it all in and cause unnecessary suffering and pain. So that's what I got for you today. It's not my prettiest, it's not polished, but this is how we learn and grow. And just like you, I'm going to listen to this back and I'm going to put it out there as ugly as it is. And I know some of you are going, oh, you shouldn't be talking negative about yourself. I'm not. This is how we learn. And if we put out every single and this is a totally another podcast, but I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. If you waited until it was perfect, if you waited until you were an A-lister, right? If you waited until you were always on your A game, you would not get shit done. And that's the beauty of showing up ugly. And I promise I will do a podcast on showing up ugly, but you've got to be willing to not even humble yourself, just show up in the dirt, in the filth, learning and growing. And that's part of what the daily fight is all about, is showing up honestly and authentically and giving it your best for that day. This might be my best for today. And here it is. But I bet somebody is going to hear the story about my son and how he tried to cram it all in, caused himself a lot of unnecessary pain. And you're going to use this story and run with it in your life. And the next time you start to go one direction, you're going to remember that there's other choices that you have, that you can ask for help, you can receive for help, you can own up, you can merge back in traffic, that you don't have to suffer in silence, that you don't have to cause unnecessary pain, that you don't have to cram it all in, that you're not going to be able to make up for the lost time, and you're better off just getting right back into the flow of things. So I hope this helps you today on the Daily Fight. My name is Robyn Tanner. Please follow me on social media at Robyn Tanner Coaching. You can also sign up for my Weekly Warrior newsletter, where I drop weekly coaching tips to help you fight for your future self. And that is at robyntanner.com/subscribe. I don't send you anything spammy, but I do help you every single week. Wake your warrior so you fight for your future self and you stop cramming in things that are really unnecessary and going to end up hurting you from the inside out. Have a great day. Peace out.